name's Maureen Scott, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of a startup business called Ether Books. Back in 2000, I was recruiting content for the world's first touchscreen smartphone device, which was based on the Psion Symbian operating system. My business partner and I developed the world's first direct booking application for consumers for British Airways. That was a predecessor to the big companies like Travelocity and Expedia. I received a call from a friend of mine who had this brilliant idea. The idea was very simple. She's a writer. Her editor rang and said, what about short reading material, short stories, essays, on iPhones? Phoned Mike, my business partner, and said, this is it, we've got the idea. So let's go. He left his job at the Financial Times. We set up Ether. We launched in April 2010. We launched our initial app, and we had content from very, very famous writers. And it was amazing. We launched at London Book Fair. We had incredible media coverage. Our app downloads went through the roof. Then a couple weeks later, Sir Paul McCartney, he was interviewed on Radio 4 on Election Day, and he promoted Ether. And then a funny thing happened. We had a big shock because our downloads and our traction fell off a cliff. So we weren't quite sure what we were going to do. What happened after we launched at London Book Fair is we received emails from a lot of writers wanting to know if they could publish on the Ether platform. We started to read the stories and the submissions that these writers had submitted to us, and lo and behold, what we found was that their stories were as good, if not better, than the very, very famous writers, the household names. So we started publishing the new writers, and that's when we started to take off. That's when we knew that we had a company. Consumers have adopted e-reading like crazy over the last 5 years. So we're combining e-reading with smartphone adoption, and we're publishing content-appropriate reading material that fits smartphones. We distribute now in the Apple Store. We'll be moving to Android. We use what's called the freemium model, in-app purchase, so we will be targeting as many smartphones as possible over the next 12 to 24 months. They expect 1 billion smartphones to be available globally in 2013, and that's the market we're going after. And the English language reading market is huge. Our biggest market to date is the US, followed by India, then the UK. So we're connecting our writers globally to readers globally. It's amazing.
I think it's great because publishing is kind of in perhaps a risky sort of place because people do so much online, so it's great to take the mountain to Muhammad, as it were, and do online publishing immediately there for people's phones.
Ether's great because you get rated, you can get ratings from your books, so you can see what people think of your books as well.
It's fantastic for a writer. As soon as someone puts feedback on your story, you get an email saying you've had feedback, and they can rate your story, or they can put a comment, which you don't very get instant feedback like that. Usually you have to wait months or weeks.
It's increasingly difficult for writers to get their work seen, especially with regards to short stories as well, because there's not too much publication of short stories going on in the UK especially. So yeah, it's just a great way to get your stories out there, get people to read it.
As a reader, I love them. I think they're really good. You can read on the train, you can read 5 minutes while you're sitting at home on your phone. It's really, really good for both aspects.
The next release of our product, we're calling it Ether version 2.0, will be shipping in September. We've worked with writers for the last 2 years. We've gathered a lot of data with our existing app, and we are doing a completely new build of the product. That's when Ether goes social. We're connecting writers to writers, writers to their fan base, readers to other readers, and democratizing the entire publishing process. One of our fantastic English writers that a lot of people know is Toby Litt, and I think he said it best also. He said, mobile phones and short stories are pretty much meant for each other. One of our American writers, his name is Michael Cogdill, he writes, Ether is the new global swimsuit of writing. Small is alluring when the content is strong. To set off another metaphor here, the best of writing is like moonshine, a shot glass of what looks like spring water, but with one big heady kick. Ether celebrates writing that distills big ideas, letting the world absorb them by measures of the hourglass instead of a calendar. Ether pieces have a way of snapping and sticking in the heart and mind. They last. Bravo on the global impact to come. I'm humbled by the chance to join the Ether revolution. We're discovering new writers, and we are enchanting readers and connecting both of them.